The Scalian Resistance Force. It's the duty of these brave men and women to protect the planet Scalia and the rest of the Catholia system from the menace of intergalactic crime. It is through the strength of their courage, effort, and teamwork that they gain the power to stand up to the forces of evil. Through thick and thin, war and peace, good times and bad, no threat has ever proven too great for the SRF to handle. It is through their duty that peace is kept throughout the galaxy.
Now I know what you're thinking. What the shit did I just spew out of my mouth?
Well, that right there was the general summary of a game called SuperSkye, which was going to be released as a free internet game back in 2001. It starred a character called Skye Electra, who was some kind of futuristic space cop going around and shooting up criminals and evil robots throughout the galaxy. Now, as awesome as this sounds, there's one problem. I can't show it to you because the thing is, it was never actually finished. These measly screenshots are really all we have. So what's the big deal about an obscure generic space shoot-'em-up game from the early 00s that was never even actually released? Well, back then, that kind of thing was a pretty big deal. Indeed, it actually had a pretty major cult following while it was being developed. But for whatever reason, at some point late in the development, Rhys Davidson, the guy who was heading the project, just decided to call it quits, and SuperSkye was abandoned.
Because yeah, screw this game that scores of people were anticipating and that we could probably finish in, I don't know, one more week.
Some people have attributed the mysterious scrapping to creepy stories about ghosts in the game or other shit like that. But whatever you want to believe, the world never got to play SuperSkye, and nowadays the few people who still even know about it at all are either making fun of it or just convinced that it never even existed in the first place. Like it was all just some kind of big bait and switch joke.
But here's the thing. Is it just me, or is there some kind of, I don't know, an elephant in the room here? Have any of you ever actually heard of SuperSkye? Well, here's the thing. First of all, it was kind of obscure to begin with, and secondly, after the game was scrapped, the developers took about every effort that they possibly could just to wipe it from existence. Chat boards, websites, forums, everything got swept. Every single time the word SuperSkye was mentioned, they took it off. Now it's like it never even existed at all. But my point is, just think about it. Even the developers wanted to forget about this shit. And they wanted the whole world to forget too.
So in the end, as many great things as it had coming for it, SuperSkye's fate turned out to be pretty bleak. But my friends, all hope is never lost. Even for a game as abysmally obscure and forgotten as SuperSkye. And that's because this game, just like any other, has a certain legion of fans that live on to this day. Fans whose obsession over it will never die. Fans who will do anything for it.
The year is 2014. It's been almost 12 years since the game we knew as SuperSkye was scrapped and removed from the face of the earth. But in more recent times, some strange things have been going on in the back corners of the internet, and now we may actually be closer than ever to actually playing this shit. You ask how? How are we actually going to be able to play SuperSkye after all these years? Well, I've got something to show you. Just give me a second. Alright, I've got something for you. This is an SD card that was imported from Japan after being imported there from Canada after being sent there from a secret agency who contacted Run and Rees, the developers of SuperSkye, and got it from their secret lab underneath 6 feet of ground in Ontario. This is some top secret shit. And what is on it? I will tell you. On this SD card is contained absolutely nothing. Now, what'd you think I was gonna do? Show you SuperSkye? I mean, that's some wishful thinking right there. It's never gonna happen. Come on. Well, I guess I'd better tell you now what I was really gonna say. But I will warn you, it's less impressive.
If you follow my SMW Central profile, because I do hack in case you didn't know, you probably know about SuperSkye The Legacy. It was essentially my attempt at recreating what SuperSkye would have been like in a game that you can, well, actually play. And even if you've never heard of it until now, it's not too hard to figure out that it was pretty goddamn shitty. Last year I even had to pull a complete surprise on the world and review my own hack, just because of how goddamn awful it was. But thankfully, it's not the only new game out there that has anything to do with SuperSkye, and even though I know I could have covered it a lot better than I did back then, it isn't what we're gonna be reviewing today. We'll save that for another time. Anyway, believe it or not, SMW Central still has a bit of a SuperSkye fanbase, and somebody named ProCaine, without me ever knowing, made a SuperSkye related hack called Skye Goes to Town. But it's one hard motherfucker to get your hands around. It was never even legitimately submitted to the Central, so you can't download it from there.
In fact, besides all that, I really don't know much about this hack at all. I'm not sure who made it, not sure when it was made, not sure how it got on the internet in the first place. All I know is it's just been floating around under all of our noses for all these years. And I only just found this hack because a friend sent it to me. That's it. If he hadn't found it, I never would have. But now that you're here, now that I'm here, and now that Skye Goes to Town is finally in my clutches, I think I have to play it, don't I? I mean, it's a hack with Skye in it, made by somebody other than me. Is that not glorious enough?
So without any further ado, let's start up this shit.
Skye Goes to fucking town. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is a Skye Electra SNES controller. Did I mention how much I love SuperSkye?
Well, first of all, the plot in this game is a joke. If you're really still wondering what it is, you clearly haven't looked at the title, because it sums up just about everything. There's no conflict, there are no villains, Skye just has to go to town. Why? Because she's tired of playing with her toys. Yeah, take your best shot at what they mean by toys. And she wants to get some dynamite. Okay.
So, hearing all this game just sounds like a walk in the park, doesn't it? I mean, you're just walking to town, right? Even if the goal in the end is to get some high-powered explosive that Skye's gonna do God knows what with, how much more tame can you get than a little stroll to fucking town? Think the fuck again.
I guess when you get down to it, it really is nothing more than a walk to town. But there is one catch, and that's that everything in this hell of a world that lives, breathes, barks, or quacks wants you dead. Everything! For one, they're the enemies, of course, but when I said everything, I really meant fucking everything. Trees, trash cans, food, even the coins are conniving toward your doom. You can trust nothing. In fact, I have a little rule of thumb for this hack. If the time was taken to put something into the game, it's probably out to get ya.
Put simply, this hack is one hard-ass son of a bitch. But there's another thing here that can't be ignored. You know, I spent a lot of time giving you a SuperSkye history lesson at the beginning of this review, and that was just so you could come into this hack with the same amount of excitement that I did. But, you want to know what? As it turns out, this hack has about as much to do with SuperSkye as Barney the Dinosaur's ass has to do with the Spanish-American War. Namely, nothing.
I'm really not kidding. This hack hasn't got a feather or a fuck to do with SuperSkye. All that I can see in this game that's even remotely related to the old game at all is the player, who, as you can tell, is supposed to be Skye. There are also a few enemies from the original game, or at least some things that look a little like them. Like, these are Knuckle-A-Vs, and I guess these things are supposed to be berries. But other than that, there's really nothing else. Poor Skye doesn't even get her house. She just lives in her mom's basement like some dumb college dropout fuck.
But how could they do this to us? They make a SuperSkye hack and this is how they treat it?
Where are the planets? Where are the laser rifles and the plasma vision masks? Where are Holly and Ness and the princess? Where's Tomato Man or Techie or Macaron? Where's Inara? Where's Sabrina? Where's Lord fucking Zyklon? Even if you've got the patience to play this game from start to end, you won't find any one of them anywhere. Just berries, Knuckle-A-Vs, and if you really feel like counting them too, prisms for the coins. But what fucking difference does that make? 2 enemies, that's it!
That's fucking it. Really. Well, at that point, this hack could have just as easily been Mario Goes to Town. Fuck Skye. It could have been a normal Mario hack and it would have worked out just as fine. The only reason Skye got into this fucking shit is just to catch our attention. To make the hack stand out among all the others. Mario hack, Mario hack, Mario hack. Hey, Skye Goes to Town, let's play this. It catches your attention. It lures you in. It's like a shit coated in sprinkles. You see it, and it looks great, but then when you play it, all you find out is that it's just fucking shit like every other Super Mario World hack.
And you know, when it comes down to it, for the huge role that Skye herself has in making this a SuperSkye game as opposed to just another Mario hack, they definitely could have handled her better than they did in this game. Here's what she was supposed to look like in SuperSkye. And here's the one from Skye Goes to Town. If you can't spot the difference, get a color blindness test, because it's pretty clear. Skye Electra's wearing fucking pink! As minor of a complaint as this may seem to you, it bothers me, and that's because it's not right. There's no explanation for it at all. What if there was a Zelda game where Link was dressed in hot pink, or a Sonic the Hedgehog game where Sonic was pink? What about Metal Gear? Solid fucking Snake sneaking around in fuchsia. Fuchsia. I've always liked the way that word's spelled. It's like it should be pronounced fuchsia. But do you see what I mean? Link or Sonic would never wear pink, and neither would Skye. Did this guy do his research or what? She's supposed to be a fucking tomboy, not some girly pretty princess in a hot pink dress. Is it supposed to be breast cancer awareness day on Scalia? You'd think that'd be out of the question since Skye has no breasts to begin with. But then again, this really may not even be Scalia at all. It sure doesn't look like it. It's just some kind of generic city like you'd see in the background of a Sunday comic strip. Everything you'd expect to see is all here. Streetlights, telephone booths, trash cans. Yeah, 'cause this is where this hack belongs, in the fucking trash. But you know what really confuses me? This whole game is supposed to be about Skye making some long, treacherous journey to the city. So why are there tall buildings in the background for about every level throughout the game? Why is the hack called Skye Goes to Town when it couldn't be any more obvious that she's already in the town?
It's like if Nintendo had called Super Mario World Mario Goes to Dinosaur Land. What's the point?
As for the overworld, there's something very off about it too. It seems normal enough, until you realize that your fucking character is Mario! In the game, you're playing as Skye, and the creator actually did a pretty laudable job of replacing just about every frame. But then why didn't he change the character on the overworld too? You know, this is one of those times where the only thing I can logically say is, you lazy ass! Anyway, I've already told you about how head-crushingly hard this hack is, but for what it's worth, it actually starts out simple enough. Skye's mom's basement, I still can't believe that's what they called it, is just a useless little intro level that gives you a couple of poorly translated messages. It doesn't even have anything useful to say, as if the intro message didn't already tell you about how you were going to the city to get your dynamite. What a fucking waste. The first real level is actually pretty easy too. As much as a name like Kabambo Road would make you think of huge deadly explosions, this level is actually pretty tame for the most part. His falling knuckle of E right at the start is a pretty low blow, but that's about it.
If this level serves any point whatsoever, it's just to provide that last little blink of consciousness and sanity before all hell breaks loose. It's your last chance to take any form of excitement or enjoyment from this hack whatsoever. Savor it. You have been warned.
Once level 2 hits, there's no going back. This is where the true terror of this hack starts to rear its ugly head, and it's only the beginning of the gauntlet of suffering and doom that's to come.
So what sort of deadly inescapable monstrosity awaits you in this hellhole of a level? Nuclear bombs? Giant flying sharks? 15-foot spikes? Cybernetic clones of Adolf Hitler ready to unleash total destruction upon the known universe? Actually, nope. Try donuts.
Yes, donuts. To be exact, donuts of doom. Donuts of fucking doom.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Donuts? Come on, Ben the Hacker, this really can't be the word that just came out of your mouth. Donuts! Fucking donuts! What's so bad about $2 pastries? Well, I will tell you right now, and you'd better believe me. When you get out of this hack, and you do not have a rational fear of donuts. Donuts! I'm telling you, donuts! Just plain simple donuts. If you do not fear for your life at the sight of a donut, then something's fucking wrong with you. See a doctor, see a psychiatrist, see somebody. Something is wrong with your brain. Donuts will be scary to you by the time you have finished Skye Goes to Town. I'm not kidding.
These bastards will infiltrate your mind, grab your sanity by the balls, and rip it right out. They're the bane of my existence. These donuts defy just about any definition of a good, challenging video game obstacle. Remember those waterfall logs from Super Mario Bros. 2? Those were a pain in the ass, weren't they? Well, what if the entire fucking game was just you jumping across an endless waterfall? That'd be something like Skye Goes to Town. These donuts aren't just a little obstacle that you need to dodge here and there. These things are fucking everywhere. Everywhere! Sometimes they're manageable enough if you know how to pull off some pretty precise jumps. But other times it's just taken way too far. Sometimes every single fucking one of your movements has gotta be spot on pixel perfect, or you'll touch a donut and your hot pink ass will be toast. I can't get past this fucking jump. I can't. Every time I try to get across, I can't make it without getting hurt. Ugh. 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 Come on, Skye, you can do this. Come on. Was this even tested? Now how about this fucking shit? Yes, this is a water level. You hate those, right? Then just try one after you add 10,000 donuts. Actually, you know, let's play a little game here. We'll call it Count the Donuts. Yeah, let's see how many fucking donuts are here on this screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 72, 115, 1 fucking million. You know what? You think maybe this game has enough donuts in it? You really think maybe? There are enough donuts in this game to make Garth from Wayne's World lose his lunch.
Hey, Mr. Donut Head Man, who's trying to kill you?
Donuts. They fucking scare me now. They're terrifying. In fact, there's only one thing in this world that can make me pee my pants faster than a donut can. And that's a cronut.
What? You've never heard of cronuts? What rock do you live under? They're the craze of the century! You ask what they are? We'll just connect the dots. Croissant plus donut equals cronut. Simple. You just gotta admire the genius whose idea it was to combine two of the simplest pleasures in life into one mutant monstrosity of pure deliciousness. In fact, I like him better than the lowlife who created Skye Goes to Town.
Which brings me to my next point. If there's one thing about this game that I'm actually glad about, it's that cronuts do not make an appearance. I can't even begin to think of what horrible atrocity they'd be used to if they were anywhere in this hack. In fact, I'd rather just not think about that right now.
Well, as the game goes on, things only get worse. In the next level, dill pickles of all things get thrown into the mix. Killer pickles. I don't believe it. Well, now you gotta dodge both the donuts and the pickles. Or whatever these fucking things are. Look at this! That's not a pickle! It doesn't even resemble one! I guess the question is, what is it really then? Seriously, what the shit is it? I prefer to think of them as logs of shit that have been sitting in a sewer for really long, so they're starting to get all green and slimy. But hey, your guess is as good as mine. My main complaint about this level, it's long as ass. That and it's also inhumanly hard. Sometimes it's downright impossible. This part right here is just unfair. It's unbeatable, I'll say nothing less. When I played through this game, I spent hours trying to get through this gauntlet of death. And you know how I beat it? I just gave the fuck up and let myself get hurt.
So as far as I know, this is the only way to get through here. Unless you're using cheat codes or something. And if that's the case, then fuck you! Well, then again, this is Skye Goes to Town. So maybe you're excused. Just this time, you cheap-ass little fucker. Just this one time.
But really, if you don't have a mushroom, you might as well commit suicide, cause you're fucked. Oh, what? More jumping on enemies? Oh, you gotta ride on these bird things? Come on, you little fuckers, work with me here. Arrgh! Ass, bitch, tits! Son of a fuck! Ugh, finally!
I've beaten this goddamn level. There's something I've been noticing, though. We're only 3 levels in. And this is already the hardest shit I've ever played. How can this game get any harder? Is it gonna get any harder? Oh man, I really did underestimate it, didn't I? Not the 3 words from hell. Please no, anything but.
Ouch. Prickly shrubs.
I take it back about the fucking donuts. Those were child's play compared to this horror. This bastard. This bat out of hell.
The premise is simple. Almost too simple. Some of these trees are safe to touch, but others will hurt you. These are the so-called prickly shrubs. So how do you tell the difference? Here's the deal. You don't. They look exactly the same. Sometimes it's easy enough to pick out the ones that have to be traps. See how there's 3 of these trees here and the one in the middle is just sort of awkwardly out of place? It's one of the ones that hurts you. And I really hope nobody out there is enough of a jackass to fall for this one. But the thing is, these are rare exceptions. Most of the time, not one of these trees looks any different from the next. All it is a fucking guessing game. Your only hope of coming out of this level with your sanity intact is this little method that some people have figured out. If you take something you can grab and throw it up at a tree, it'll go through and land on top if it's a safe one. But if it bounces off the bottom, then that means it's a trap. In this hellish level, this is your one saving grace, but sometimes even that's no good. Pretty much if you can't get under a tree, there's not much more you can do than hope it's safe. Now if you know how to use lunar magic and you really want to be extra cheap here, you can actually go into the level editor, open up the Hex Map 16 data, find the prickly shrubs, and change those fuckers to some other color. Or heck, if you wanted to go that far, why not make them act no differently than normal trees so they're not even a threat anymore?
Now don't get me wrong, all this stuff is about as low as a dirty cheater can stoop, but still, like I said, this is Skye Goes to town.
Now in this part of the level though, there's what I think may be the only enjoyable thing in this hack. This catchy reggae music. I can dig that. But wait a second, what's this the message box says? Coin guides? Wait a second! As it turns out, back in the first part of the level, you could tell the trees apart by the fact that the safe ones had coins over them.
Now how's that for some bullshit?
Bullshit!
Don't you think that's something important enough to let us know before we start playing the level? Not halfway through it, or after we've already gotten past the part that it applied to. I mean, seriously!
But just because this hack really wants to go the extra mile in pissing us all off, this later part of the level takes the bullshit factor to a whole new level. You can take 2 routes to get to the pipe that leads out of this hellhole, but only one will actually get you to the goal. What happens if you take the other? You have to start the whole second half of the level all fucking over again.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. The way you have to take is the way on the right. There. I just had to. I had to eliminate any future suffering that could have been caused by this hack and its cheap-ass trickery. It's the right way. Got it? Alright. No, thank me later.
So after that whole atrocity, how does the hack manage to get any fucking harder? Well, in all honesty, it really doesn't. The next level is long, the auto-scroll's annoying as hell, and the main gimmick is trash cans that activate death traps if you get too close to them. But coming out of that last inhuman shitstorm of prickly shrubs, all this seems easy by comparison. Just as long as they're none of those goddamn prickly— No! No! They're back? They didn't go away?
Please, game. Please. I give. Just get me to the next level. Please. Put me out of my misery. I can't take any more. Holy mother of God, what is that? No. No! No! Stop it, SMW Central! Please, for the love of God! First Towhow Mario and Mario Afternoon World, and how many goddamn devil worshippers are contributing to your site?
Okay, really, the last 2 claims of Satanism I've made in the past were more jokes than anything else. But how can you possibly deny something like this?
That's right, folks. We're just a few pentagrams short of a full-on Satanist ritual right here. So just give me a second while I go get my black robe and incense and my Papa Emeritus II ass plug.
In all seriousness, though, if anything proves that this hack is the work of Lucifer himself, it's the last 2 levels. Here, the game just gets inhumanly hard. Explosives Factory takes every little piece of shit you've had to deal with throughout the game, adds in some ice and some black donuts that kill you in one hit, and compiles it all into one giant motherfucker of a level. And as anything in this game naturally does, it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Come on, you bastard of a level. End already! Just end! This hack must end!
Now here's some real shit. Just look at this. Once you get down into this place, you can't just jump out. You're trapped over a bottomless pit, and when the P-switch timer runs out, you just fall in and die. I've searched all over the level for another way, but there's none. This is where you're supposed to go. So what the fuck am I supposed to do here? To find the solution, I had to open Lunar Magic once again. There I found that in this little area, underneath the screen, there's a pipe hidden between these donuts. Thanks, Lunar Magic. Don't know what I'd do without ya.
But you know, I'm starting to notice a pattern here. Aren't you? Cheat Lunar Magic, cheat Lunar Magic, cheat Lunar Magic. Go the extra mile, one stupid gimmick after another, beat one thing, beat the next. You have to cheat, you have to play dirty, unless you want to stand no chance in hell whatsoever. And the creator knew that. I'm certain of it. Because how else were we supposed to figure this shit out?
This is the kind of thing you do for a secret. A laser suit or a 7-Up mushroom or something else completely batshit insane like that. But no, you have to do this just to beat the goddamn level, and aside from that, you don't get shit for it. Where's my fucking laser suit?
This is the most senseless, unfair, over-the-top shit that I think I've ever been forced to go through just to beat one little part of one little level of one little hack. Seriously, just think about it. What if I wanted to go into McDonald's or something for a bite to eat, but just to get into the damn restaurant, I had to go around back, bark like a seal for 5 straight minutes, then say the word tapioca or something just to get him to open the goddamn door? Just why, game? Why? Why put us through this misery? Why?
But even if you can finish this level, and have the audacity to continue playing this game after it legitimately threatens you, one question should be ringing through your mind. How are they going to top that last shit? How?
Well, you haven't seen the full blazing terror of the fires of hell yet. Oh yes, it gets worse. And oh man, is it terrifying. Oh man, oh man.
The 7th and final level makes you get into a den and fly through a donut storm that could make Shanghai Alice scream for his mother. About this level, I will sugarcoat nothing and say nothing less than the truth that must be spoken. It is impossible. Every single aspect of this madhouse of shit is working against you. First of all, your jet's a piece of shit, and I'm not just talking about the fact that it looks like a deformed whale. This bucket of fuck handles worse than the plane from Top Gun. So how do you steer? The D-pad, right? Like in Gradius or any other 2D flying game ever? Nope, you have to use the jump button to fly this thing. And in all honesty, it doesn't even really fly. It just sort of hops through the air. So naturally enough, the handling for this thing is about as smooth as your average bumper car. And that's a fitting comparison, by the way, because throughout this level, all you do is crash and crash and crash and crash and crash. On top of that, the hitbox is fucked up too, which only adds to your confusion and misery. If you so much as get too close to anything, you'll explode and die on the spot. Did I hit that? No. But this game likes seeing you suffer so much that it just kills you anyway. Essentially, this level is rigged to make you lose. Even if you're using save states, this is impossible. No matter what you try, you'll lose and you'll lose and you'll lose and you'll lose. How do you not lose? That's right, folks. Once again, the only way to beat this is to cheat. I had to slow down my emulator to a crawl to have enough reaction time to dodge the donuts. Just look at this. This is what true desperation looks like. All to beat one single fucking level. What the fuck were they thinking? So now it's time for the last little level, going for the 1. But all it is just a couple more badly translated message boxes. It's like Skye's mom's basement all over again, except now you're in Toyland. The first message just tells you that you won the game, in case anybody out there hadn't gotten the idea already. As for the other though, it has a message that's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. I think we all already knew what we were thinking when it came to what Skye was gonna do with that dynamite. Well, now the game's essentially proven it. It's up to you to decide. Do you even want to make me think? Ugh!
But what bothers me the most about this level is that it doesn't let you leave. And since there's no way to die here, you just have to wait for the timer to run out. It's like being in prison, except worse because they're playing shitty Christmas music in the background. Why the fuck are they playing Christmas music? Did they just assume that the hack was so hard that by the time you're done with it, it'd be Christmas already? Speaking of which, the time for this level is set to the maximum possible amount, so you'll be stuck here waiting until the next Christmas after that, too.
Yeah, I gotta go. Be right back. Alright now. What the? No! Still going? Well, you know what? I've had enough with this shit. I've had enough!
So with that, that's Skye Goes to town. I will say nothing less. Without any shadow of a doubt, this is the hardest hack that I have ever played. Now, is it the very worst? Maybe not. But that doesn't mean it isn't a godforsaken mound of horse shit that the world would be better off without. It's got nothing to do with SuperSkye, the gimmicks are unfair, Chinese Star Wars has better English than it, and of course it's fucking impossible. While playing this hack, I came close to smashing my computer more times than I'd like to admit, not to mention the rational fear of donuts that I have now.
So ProCaine, fuck you. Fuck you and fuck your hack. Now I'm gonna go set fire to the nearest Krispy Kreme. This is Ben the Hacker signing off. If you make a hack, don't make a crap sack hack. Holy mother of God, what is that?